When I found out that it was Rabbi Charlie, I couldn't believe it. I just talked to him for about an hour the day before on the phone. We were talking about extremism and how do we push against it. And it was surreal. My very next thought was, I go all over the world to do this, in Pakistan and Uzbekistan and Nigeria. I mean, are you kidding me? It's down the street from me. It's Charlie, who I can walk to his house from my house where I live. You know, my first thought was, this can't be happening. Not here, not now, not in my town. But it was.
At about 10:41, we received a 911 call regarding a disturbance.
At least 4 people, including a rabbi, are being held hostage inside a North Texas synagogue.
Law enforcement officers still surrounding that area.
So I'd heard that it was a Palestinian extremist that was holding the rabbi and the other hostages. So what came into my mind immediately was, we've got to get Omar Suleiman here. Omar is a Palestinian, he's an imam. If anybody had a shot of talking him down, it would be Omar Suleiman. But would they let him in? So I called the Keller police chief, who then called the Colleyville police chief, just to validate that this guy is legit, he's for real. One of the things that I think will always stand out in my mind that day is that it wasn't a room filled with a whole lot of Jews. As a matter of fact, the Jews were in the minority. But we were there together as a multi-faith group. Midway through the day, there were 2 ladies who came, both Muslim women who lived in the community, and they were very close to Rabbi Charlie and his wife. They come into the room, and immediately she just fell into their arms. They sobbed, they wept. It was a very moving time. And I think it was a credit to how Charlie's lived his life. I mean, he really cares about people. You saw his life on full display by the diversity of people that was in that room.
What a tense situation it was yesterday, going on for nearly 12 hours. Finally did come to an end.
After it was over, we were all emotionally spent. And so immediately we just left. I mean, not a single one of us talked to the media. We had zero desire. I don't know how they found out who we were, but it was the next day that we all started getting calls. I did, Omar did, Andrew did.
Religious leaders in Texas have come together in the wake of the hostage standoff. Joining us now is Dr. Omar Suleiman, and with us, Pastor Bob Roberts Jr.
Here's what really began to sink in. What really matters is presence. And I just believe that this is why Multi-Faith Neighbors Network is so incredibly important. We have to be connected to one another if we expect to bring the tension down.
Nearly 3 weeks ago, we were reminded of that truth. But violence and vengeance didn't pierce the goodness and grace of that scene. Heroic law enforcement officers were joined by local faith leaders, including an imam, a Baptist minister, who offered their help.
If you have those relationships, then you can be ready to do stuff like this. But if you don't, you give nice nothings at news conferences like, oh yeah, we got to pray and it's sad and it's tragic. Well, that's great. What are we doing to build civility right now? Right now.
This is our moment. This is the call to action. We need an MFNN in every single city in America.
We're the people that are saying, we got to love one another. We got to pull this thing together or we're going to lose our country. And I'm tired of that.
To spread MFNN across the country is going to take 3 things. Number 1, courageous pastors and imams and rabbis that are willing to stand up and count. But as clerics, we have to do what we do because it's the right thing to do. The second thing it's going to take a lot of hard work. You're going to have to meet with people of different faiths. You're going to have to bring them together in retreats. You're going to have to work through negative stereotypes. Let me be clear, this is not an easy thing. We're not talking about interfaith dialogue, we're talking about multi-faith engagement, where we are citizens together. The third thing it's going to take a lot of money. We need your help. It matters, it's important. No one has the ability to impact this like evangelicals, Muslims, and Jews working together. We need you, America needs you.